I get it. Your marriage is boring, is miserable. You've been attacked from every side. You're under the element and you have tried everything because you're a good man, you're a good person, and you wanted to save the marriage in the first place. But now you are at the point that you think that there is no way out. Wait. There are some situations that probably nobody have told you that are completely solvable, are annoying, are frustrating. I agree with you, but they are solvable, and nobody is telling you that. Probably people and professionals are telling you that you just need to be patient, you just to suck it up, and things will get better with some patience and with some work from your side. But there could be some work from your side, but it's solvable. So I want to give you today the three reasons that are not a good reason to divorce. Are things that are solvable, and so you should not divorce just because of these three things. But first, let me tell you about the 3 or 4 other things that are not a good reason to stay. So if your marriage is bad, not for the three things that I'm going to tell you. Your marriage is bad for much worse, but you are in these 3 situations. Doesn't mean that you need to save the marriage because of these 3 situations. And let me start with children. So children are not a good reason to save a marriage, not because we want to destroy the children. No, because probably you may want to go to my website and look for this booklet, and I'll leave the link in the description. That children are not a good reason to save the marriage. If you save the marriage, you're not doing your children any favor. This is a very interesting situation that tells you why divorce can be even better and why bad marriages are the worst for children. And let me tell you this with a motto, with a slogan. Divorce don't ruin children. Parents do, because statistics say that children in single parents households, they are more likely to use a substance, to be alcoholic, to drop out of school, to go, suffer depression, everything, you name it, they have it if they're in a single parents household. But this is not because the parents are divorced, but because both parents one of them are jerks, or probably both. So if these 2 parents are jerks in the same house or are jerks at the same house, they will have, so the statistics are not super clear about that also children that are in a regular household with both parents can suffer depression, can drop out, because the parents, sometimes happens in society, but sometimes because parents, which can be good parents, but together they create so much tension, so much drama, so much scary situation that the children develop self-harming attitudes, you name it. We don't want the children to be in a bad marriage as more than they be in a divorce, because if you divorce, it doesn't mean that you lose the contact with your children. You should not, at least. And in some divorces, even judges are to blame. This is not something that happened in New Jersey. Besides, I just want to share with you. I just got, I cannot show this. Okay, I found it. I just won my motion in New Jersey. New Jersey is a place where they really give a big importance to the children. Everywhere they should, because almost all states, they have this big consideration for the children, to the point that, in the explanation of the motion, why I won the motion, there is a lot of saying that the children are the greatest overriding consideration, the best interest of the children. So the judges in New Jersey, they're very good. They consider the children when you are going through stressful marriage and you need a divorce. But I cannot say the same of judges all around the country. Okay, so children are not a good reason for not divorce, because to protect the children, sometimes you need to distance one of your spouse that can have some issues when you are together. So probably they're bad at all, and this is what we need to do. We need to distance us and the children from them, or they just are bad when are around us because we don't stand each other. So the other thing that should not stop you from divorcing, when you go to the lawyers and they give you the amount of the retainer that you need to pay as a deposit. So your lawyer's fee should not stop you, because I promise that, one, you don't need the lawyers. I mean, first of all, I promise, one, that you will spend this, if you don't divorce, we spend this money for less reasonable reason, less important reason, and less also effective reason. So you'll spend this money anyway if you don't divorce and you need to divorce. But you don't need a lawyer most of the time. If you don't have very complicated situation, you have a regular family, even with, regular means with a lot of stuff that you need to discuss, you still can do it yourself. Just you need to have some patience, put stuff together, put information together, and save all this money, and you will get away with $200-$300 filing fee and other assistance that you may need, and you're divorced, and you get rid of some tension in your house. So lawyer's fee should not scare you. And I know religion or spiritual or principle, many of us, when we married, we create a vow, we do a promise to ourselves, to our spouse, to our families, and to our God, and we don't want to break the vow. But I want to tell you that sometimes when you are in a situation that you really need to divorce, which, by the way, is not the reason that I'm telling you in few moments. These are not good reasons to divorce, but there are many reasons. You can check another video, which I will also link here on this corner or back down in the description, whatever, depends on the platform you're watching to, or in the bio. There are good reasons that you should divorce, because again, you want also to protect your children, but also yourself. If you don't have children, you still want to protect your finances, yourself, your sanity, a lot of stuff. So when you come in this situation and say, okay, but I'm Christian, or I'm religious, and we don't like a divorce, it's bad, or even my family will, my mother will die if you know that I'm going to divorce. Well, how can you reconcile that you made a vow, you made a promise, and you're breaking that promise? How I did, I divorced 5 years ago, as I mentioned, we're still working on that. After 5 years, I hope this doesn't scare you, that we're still working on divorce after 5 years that I fully divorced and I have full custody of my children. How did I reconcile it? That we made a vow that we'll be together in good time and bad time, and we will honor and love each other. And then my ex was not respecting me, was not loving me, and was actually treating me poorly. And let's say, okay, she broke the vow. So how contracts work in America, in most Roman civil rights, that if one party breaks the contract, it's not that the other party is still bound to the contract, because it will be unfair. So she broke the vow first. I tried my due diligence, extra diligence, above and beyond, that didn't work, and then say, okay, I need to plug I need to pull the plug here and stop it. So children, if you are in a bad situation, which not the reason that I'm telling you now, I have another video again that tells you the reason to divorce, but the one that I'm going to tell you are not good reason to divorce, something that you may at least work on it and solve it. If you're in a bad situation and you're not doing anything because you think you are protecting the children, or you don't want to spend money, or you have some principle to respect, think again. This is not good reason to avoid divorce or to stay in a effed up marriage. Okay, let's think what can be frustrating for you and may make you think, okay, I feel so lonely, I cannot stay in this marriage. So one of these is lack of affection. So, like you are married to a spouse that doesn't cuddle you, doesn't welcome you when you come home, or the other way around, doesn't let you welcome them when you come home, and lack of intimacy in the bedroom, and dust and spider webs, sorry. And so it's boring, and you think that, okay, this is not a marriage, this is a roommate shit, a situationship. So there's something that you should try before pulling the plug. And probably you try something, but not, I mean, you didn't talk with me, so you didn't was put on the right path yet. So something that I tell these people that are in situation, they should read this is a book, The 5 Love Languages by Dr. Chapman. I don't have a printed copy. I read it the audiobook, so I don't have a physical copy that I can, wave around like you. But I mean, it's very famous. You can also find YouTube channels that talk about it. But I really recommend that you read the book. It's The 5 Love Languages. What does it imply, this book, basically? I probably have more videos about that. That sometimes we think that we are not being loved, but the other party is trying to, for example, just they're cooking for us. They, break their back to make her, but they're not able to verbalize, I love you, this kind of stuff. They're trying their best to love. So when you say, oh, you're not loving me because we don't do, our things in the bedroom, they say, but I'm cooking for you, and probably you don't care about cooking. You're loving each other, but you don't know because you're speaking different love languages in this point. So this is something that you need to evaluate. Okay, what is my love language? What I want to, did I express that I want affection? You think, okay, but it's normal. We married, we should hug and kiss and that. No, people don't have, because of family, because of personality, because of DNA. I mean, we don't even know. They don't think that this is default. Don't think that this is given, granted. They have another way. So sometimes this is that serving you. Somebody is sitting together and full attention. They have different attitude. You figure out. Probably you understand that will be enough for you, or that will not be enough for you, and then you take your decision from that. But you need to really understand where they're coming from. They're being disrespectful or cruel to you by denying you the bedroom, or just hugging, or they didn't get it. You tell them, and they will understand it. Probably they were waiting. Your spouse, your wife was waiting, were praying that you would ask her to. Okay. The second point is communication. Communication, I know that you hear this all the time. I mean, when you're married, you need to improve the communication. You need to express the stuff. Communication is overrated because not everybody speak the same way. And even in workplace, in some kind of workplace, you need communication. So you need to get better at that. You cannot just work around it. But in a couple, it's not given that everything should be said or should be expressed. And so, for example, in my support groups, many people, not the majority, but many, come and say, okay, I want to talk to my husband, I want to tell, I want to talk about stuff, and they say, I don't want to do, I don't want hearing, I don't know, whatever you want. So they just give the impression they're just invalidating what you are saying, what the other spouse is saying. And so the first spouse say, okay, he's not listening. There is he's not listening. It's not that, he told you that he is okay with what you're saying, but you want to give a big... So communication is just, again, a difference. It's not that they're being disrespectful, but sometimes we think that we talk a lot, and we expect that other people talk a lot. But some people are listeners, some people are... Now, this doesn't mean that there should be disrespect, like a kind of verbal abuse. So if it's verbal abuse, criticizing, and you say, okay, you have this stuff, you need to communicate better. No, because if you try to communicate more with these people, they will give a pass to more verbal abuse and more verbal. So you don't want to increase the communication. So I will split the communication in 3 parts. One is lack of communication, which, as I said, is when you're trying to talk and they say they don't, just, okay, lack of communication is a little bit different. It's like you sit there and you never have anything to talk about. Okay, this is solvable. You just create an appointment or a date and say, okay, I want to do, sometimes I would like to talk a little bit more. But again, then you need to accept if they're talkative or they're internalize stuff. And so maybe they like to write, they like to send you a postcard. Tell them, you can solve this. This is something that probably a little bit general is difficult now in a short video. I don't want to make this video a little bit too much boring for you because you want to listen all the 3 big things. And so we may want to talk one-on-one, or leave in the comments what is your communication style and what you expect for your spouse, your wife or husband to do. Leave a comment down here and we can expand on that, so I don't go, all over the place, but I really address the point that you are seeing in general. Another thing that probably is, like I mentioned, is like she does not understand. She doesn't understand. I say she, but it could be he, could be spouse, whatever a combination of spouse. So it's like we want to tell them, hey, park the car this way, or don't spit, or, load the dishwasher in a way. There are a lot of stuff that say, okay, I try to clean this, or do this thing in the morning, or don't take don't put loud TV in the morning, and they keep doing it. So we want them to do the way we like stuff. Probably they already told you, she understands what you say, but she doesn't agree. So we also need to accept that when we tell somebody something, we also want to we need to be prepared to like what they answer. We make a proposal, they can agree and can disagree, and we need to like what they do. So we should not force other people to do stuff. So sometimes it's on us that the communication, so we think that they don't understand, but probably you didn't explain well, or explain, but you need also to like what they say. So you need to understand as well. On the opposite side is a little bit more tricky, is you don't understand. So like your wife say that you don't understand, claims that you don't understand. And this also is a little bit more nuanced way to say, because what does it mean? So like she says that making this like a criticism, or we're not listening because we want to do the dishwasher with the plate facing the left, and she wants the plate left face right, and we think that we're right, they think that right, we just don't make a compromise there. Or they're trying to criticize you. So you think they understand, they change stuff. So this is something that need to address in a way. And there are many techniques to improve the communication, but sometimes it's not about communication. Say, we need to understand. It's really important which face the plates go. It's not that, it's actually sometimes it's not, we think that this is communication. It's not communication. It's having a plan, accepting other people and loving other people. It's not that you need to communicate everything that come across your mind, whether how to load the dishwasher or the wash machine. Probably let people, when they load dishwasher, they load their way. When you load the dishwasher, you load their way. You tell that, okay, when you do it, do the way. I like this way because, I'm left-handed or right-handed. You can try to explain, or you don't need to explain. We give too much information to explanation. Sometimes and this keep people staying, we can solve this communication here until we cannot, but at least we need to try before, divorce. Divorce may be expensive, and stressful, we don't want to get there. But we give too much information and explanation. When we are married to a bad guy, or we have a bad coworker, we want to explain what they did bad. We can try, but if they don't get it, it's not, honestly, most of the time it's not they don't get it. They get it very well, and they were doing on purpose, but they want to make you understand that you're crazy, so they like filling you with word salads. It makes you even feel and look stupid. So don't explain. So if people are smarter, we are Homo sapiens. We understand, people understand. If they show that they don't understand, it's not that they don't understand, they want to play dumb, but they understand. So you give your explanation, If they say they understand, good. If not, don't over-explain and don't overthink. Just cut these people off. And last but not least is money. Again, money, it's a big topic. So sometimes it's really a reason to divorce, sometimes it's not. For example, if you have a husband that gambles or a wife that drinks and spends too much or buy big purses, I mean, if you guys can afford, okay, but if you need to do the backflip to afford her purses, then you need to think about that. But sometimes, I mean, even if a wife spends more than you think, it's something that you can discuss. And again, let's put this together. So communication is overrated. Communication is overrated, and so you cannot over-explain about money. There is something that you can do. So let's give him an example that it's actually inspired from a real story. So this husband want really to have his wife who doesn't work to have all the luxury, all the benefit, all the loving. And so he bought her a Mercedes, which, okay, people can afford a Mercedes. He can afford, I mean, no problem. And she keeps complaining, okay, but you don't give me enough money for groceries. What you do? So I gave it to, let's say that $200 these days is enough for a week of groceries for a family of 3. I give you $200 for this, I give you some extra for the bills, I pay the bills, I pay the mortgage, and I pay also some of your property expenses from your family, and I pay everything, so you have everything you need. And if you need something extra, boutique or stuff or clothing, you can get extra. So what really are you missing with the money here? And you have Mercedes. And they go into communication over explanation thing, and they don't solve the money. So this wife is affordable for the mom, but if he's a businessman, if it's seasonal, if one day there is an issue that he cannot work, and he does get enough money flow, her attitude is gonna be complicated and problematic. So at a given point, she doesn't understand, say, okay, you don't understand all the work that I'm doing for you. Probably, you know what, I'm gonna trade in the Mercedes and buy you a Honda Civic, or probably Honda van. I forgot what is the Honda van name. So you can carry the children around. I mean, but we have one child, so you don't need a big car. So we have a Honda Civic, you drive around with that. I save get $10,000 to $15,000 back from the trade-in. And then you learn that you can also live a little bit more frugal way. So this is money, that's something that can be addressed. Not always with communication, because people that don't work, they don't understand really, wives especially. No offense to wives. Sometimes they don't understand. Many wives are better financial planner. For example, my mom was perfect financial planner. My dad had his expenses for pleasure. He liked to, let's say, other stuff, but also spend time with her friends. But all what left from his salary was given to my mom, and my mom was a stay-home mom that was a perfect financial planner. Most of, at least the one that I'm exposed to, of women that come to me through my practice, wives of my clients, they really don't have a clue how to handle it, and they are demanding of husbands to give more money. This is not good. This doesn't mean that they're bad. It's just they are not exposed to a workplace to bringing money. They think that their fathers brought money and their husband needs to bring money, and they're nodding contribution. They didn't realize how the mother made the end meets. They only think that the father bring money, and then everything was like this. No, the mothers were contributed to make ends meet, but probably, I don't know, they don't realize, or this generation is not taught to have a financial good attitude and common sense, and they don't do. So you cannot explain that because you will come across like a know-it-all, like a arrogant, mansplainer kind of stuff. No, what you need to do is just cut money here and there. Cut their credit cards. Say, okay, you have your credit cards, are giving allowance, and you pay. If you get in trouble, it's your problem. I mean, you need to learn, because the bottom line of all this stuff that you are talking about, that I want to help you. I want to help you to save your marriages if solvable. But I also want you to be happy. So you need to divorce instead of being the crazy maker of a person that don't understand, don't listen, don't respect, and other stuff. And they can risk your children's well-being. So I want to help you this stuff. But the bottom line is that we don't want to explain to other adults how to behave, because they're adults. We don't explain to others. They are adults, they need to learn themselves. If they need information, they ask. It's not that we offer this information if they're not asked. But above all, if they're adults but they don't know how to handle money, they don't know how to handle children, they don't know, according to us, we may be wrong, they need to learn. Because if we help them, for example, another video I told, we help them out of depression or bipolar or borderline. We cannot help them. We cannot save them. These are people that are pretty much will live with this mental illness all their life. We cannot help them. But if they have a chance that they can be saved, that they can learn, they need to learn. They need to hit the wall themselves. They need to learn. It's like when we talk about toddlers, how they learn how to walk. They try, they fall. They try, they fall. It's not if we lift them up, we'll make them learn how to walk faster. Because when they fall, the act of standing up by themselves, they develop the muscle, they flex the muscle of the walk. So if they don't fall and they don't get up, they'll never develop this muscle, and they'll never let it do. So the same way, adults need to learn their way out. So we don't explain how to use money. We just cut the money if we think that they use the money in a bad way. So this is solvable. Again, I hope this helps. Again, give me comments here, or sometimes I say, if you like to post a video on TikTok, tag me on divorce.road, and I'll hear your critique about my videos, my opinion, and also share your story so we can discuss your story in a more specific way. Hopefully I help you. Okay? Have a great day. You got this.